We all know the Xbox 360 was goated, especially when it came to its marketplace. They had a whole section for indie and arcade games that you could just try for free. And as a kid, I spent countless hours just replaying trials of these games. The selection was heat. Castle Miners E, Limbo, Voice Changer 360, that didn't work, and so many more bangers that I can't remember because most of them are gone.
Please! No!
Amongst these titles, one game series always stood out to me as a kid, a 2D side-scroller called The Dishwasher Dead Samurai. At the time, I couldn't afford the full games. I was saving up the little Microsoft points I had for my avatar fits and emotes, so I just replayed the demos over and over, and I was still eating that shit up. Out of the two games in the series, the sequel, Vampire Smile, had me intrigued the most. I remember the demo was an edgy, violent game about a girl on a murderous rampage, escaping a prison, biting faces off of the guards, while simultaneously going through manic episodes. It was so different from the other games I was playing at the time, and ever since, it's always been in the back of my mind. But luckily, it's been ported to PC. You ever revisit something from your childhood as an adult, and you realize that that thing was actually terrible, and your nostalgia is ruined forever, and now you're sad, and broke, and get no hoes? Well, guess what? That's not the case for this one. This game is still fire. So today, we're going to be talking about one of the most brutal Xbox indie games I've ever played, The Dishwasher Vampire Smile. The game was made by Sky Studios, founded by James Silva, the same team who also made hits like Salt and Sanctuary, Charlie Murder, and I Made a Game with Zombies in It. Vampire Smile was developed by only 3 people working entirely at a James basement. Just 3 buddies doing something they love, making dope shit. Ain't that just inspirational? James created mostly everything off of his laptop, with help by Dustin Berg, who did the promotional stuff, like making the trailers and designing the website, and Michelle Jouet, who helped as well with additional art and animations. They wanted the game to have a gothic fairy tale aesthetic, with combat inspired by Devil May Cry. As you can see, the art style is very reminiscent of its time. It's like those awesome YouTube and Newgrounds animations from the 2000s, or those edgy old Flash games. Just look at the character designs. They got these big ass heads that kind of look like... The game's levels are designed with depressing grays and dark tones that contrast the gore, like the blood splatters all over the walls in the game. And when there is color, it really pops out with a beautiful saturated hue. Everything is so emo. Backgrounds are packed with detail and creativity. This shit is beautiful, man. Some levels are futuristic with all this tech in the background, while others have gross hellish rock designs with corpses and skeletons in the back. This was 2009 and 2011 when the games were released, so the aesthetic was still perfect for that era of the internet. Anyways, you're probably asking, well, let me explain. Since we can't play the original, I'll give you a quick summary of the story to catch you up with the sequel. So in the game's world, it's slowly getting overtaken by cyborgs, tricking the population with false hopes of evolution for mankind. But they're actually just infecting everyone and turning people into robots. You play as the dishwasher, a guy working at the Foghorn Cafe, who believes that washing dishes requires characteristics of a ninja, a samurai, and a warrior. This is the type of bullshit I would say when I was a little ass kid. This guy is a grown ass man, I think. So it's safe to say, but he might still be chewing on erasers. He lives with his stepsister Yuki after their parents died in an accident. As you can tell so far, the story is it's being written by a 13-year-old. But we're gonna let James cook, okay? So far, he's got the edgy aesthetic down. He's hitting all the right story beats. Now the 2 siblings have just been bumming around all sad, and Yuki is like, this is depressing. I should probably do something with my life. I'm gonna go join this shady AI organization that promises to make my life better. So she goes off and does that, and they kidnap her and turn her into a cyborg ninja assassin.
Bruh.
The dishwasher is lonely as hell now. He's like, I miss my sister. Who's gonna go to the store for me now? And I'm running out of erasers to eat. Maybe I should join that AI group too. Immediately they strap him down freaky style, pump gas into his body, and remove his heart from his chest. While this is happening though, his boss from the Foghorn Cafe bursts into the place and pulls him out of there. He saves his life by giving him a blood transfusion. Apparently in the lore, his boss has alien blood or something, so now the dishwasher has like alien blood mixed with cyborgs. He's like a super strong undead guy now, kinda like Ken Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul. Now that he survived, he's like, I'm spinning the block on the whole organization, John Wick style. Everybody's dying.
Sweet cheese.
And that's exactly what he does. He goes on a revenge rampage with his boss and burns the whole world to the ground. I'm not even exaggerating. After the first game, the dishwasher and his boss, these motherfuckers blow up the earth.
I'm about to blow.
Apparently the earth was at a point of no return, and the majority of the population was infected by cyborg poison blood. So a bunch of the surviving humans decided to pack up their bags and move to the moon. On the moon, 3 corrupt men build a new civilization there that isn't that different from Earth because there's still cyborgs everywhere, and something is behind it all. So the dishwasher's like, man, I guess I gotta do it again, but maybe I should try to find the root of all this. So that's his goal in the sequel. He wants to rid the universe of all the remaining evil. The second playable character is Yuki, the stepsister, who's been falsely accused of the Earth's destruction by those 3 corrupt men. And they lock her away in the Ifenhaz space prison above the moon. And her goal in this story is to take out those 3 men. The game starts out with her in a cell as she lays on her bed. She starts having hallucinations and is transported into a nightmare alter reality. She's being guided by these blood-painted arrows. Shortly after, she awakens back in the real world to a blood-splattered room and a prison guard's head exploding. The literal first attack you're given is a move where Yuki takes a bite out of the enemy's head. She continues to tear through this place with her bare hands and teeth. When she gets to a barred door, she starts tweaking again. She teleports through the air in a mist of blood, awakening on the other side of the door. She's like, damn, I'm really tweaking right now. Next, she runs into the warden, and they start throwing hands. Obviously, she wins, but before he dies, he cuts Yuki's arm off.
Oh shit. Damn.
She manages to make her way to an escape pod, and before she lands on the moon, she gets a vision of a smiling demon walking towards her.
I said, look, if your left leg was Thanksgiving and your right leg was Christmas, could I come visit you between the holidays?
That's the intro level. Shit is insane. What will happen to Yuki next? Who is this dude cheesing? Find out later in the video, because right now I want to talk about the gameplay. Vampire Smile is an intense 2D beat-em-up with a focus on combos and extreme violence, which fits perfectly with this gothic revenge story. Levels are simple and play out with you fighting rooms of enemies trying to stop you. There's some backtracking to find keys for progression, and there's a boss at the end of each level. And dude, the combat is fucking awesome, bro. I swear, it's the best part about the game. It's fast-paced, really gory, and most importantly, it's fun. While fighting, there's a good roster of weapons to choose from, so this keeps the combat feeling varied and fresh. Each character starts out with a katana, but you collect more weapons as you progress, like a chainsaw, meat cleavers, shotgun, or a giant pair of scissors. There's even a slight magic system with a few powers too. All weapons have their own unique movesets and finishing moves. And this is where they really went crazy with the gore. I mean, it's just cartoon, so it's not super graphic, but let me give you a few examples. Decapitation. Ripping a body into 2. Neck bite. Aerial tornado suplex. Enemy getting so scared of the main protagonist, they end their own existence. I think you get it by now. This game is a little gory. It's brutal. And so is the sound design, making the fights even more awesome. The noise can be a little much at some points when having a ton of enemies on the screen, but for the most part the sound effects add a nice touch to the gameplay, and it adds to the chaos of the game, like the rage in Yuki's voice as she's fighting, and the guitar that plays when you defeat the final enemy in a room. Which brings us to the music. it's not that bad. There's about 14 tracks that were actually composed by James Silva himself. Okay, bros really like that. I see you. The music is comprised of these like fast-paced rock tracks that match the intense vibe of everything. What's also nice are the enemies. We got normal goons with handguns, some with ARs that drop bombs on you.
There's nuke incoming! Everybody get down! Sir! Ah!
There's zombies, ninjas that can teleport, cyborgs with bomb vests, and chainsaw-wielding maniacs. Some need to be defeated in certain ways, so you gotta keep that in mind when fighting a bunch of different enemy types. Now, the bosses? For the most part, they cooked. Each one is grotesque and unsettling in their own way. For example, Murderfly, who's a blade-wielding skeleton moth thing with super fast attacks. Each boss looks pretty sick, and most of the fights themselves can get creative too. Like there were a couple bosses that surprised me. For example, when fighting the invalid boss, you start the fight thinking it's going to be something normal, then the TV shuts off, and dude turns the entire game into one of those 8-bit strategy games.
What the fuck?
Yeah, the bosses are good. Good job, Sky Studios. Good job. Back to the story though. The game is short. There's 2 campaigns to play through, which are mostly the same, and it takes about 4 hours to complete both. We're gonna focus mainly on Yuki's story because it's pretty much her story in this game, and it's the most interesting one. Like the first game, there are no cutscenes or dialogue. The story is told through comic panels. So I'm gonna try my best to break it down and summarize it for you. You start off the game as the dishwasher, and we're taken back in time where we actually replay a boss fight from the first game, and we fight this dude in a shiesty mask. After defeating them, it turns out to be his sister, Yuki.
Well, ain't no way, boy.
If you remember earlier, I said she joined the AI organization, then they captured her and turned her into a cyborg ninja. Yeah, then they sent her to off her own brother. So the dishwasher accidentally murks his sister. Then he's like, damn, I just murked my own sister. And then he moves on. So we pick up in the second game, and she's been revived by a dude named the Creeper. And he gives her those blood powers with a little side of cuckoo. He also creates a demonic version of Yuki to control her actions. Before the Earth is completely destroyed, she stows away on a ship going to the moon. Shortly after, she's arrested and blamed for the Earth's destruction. Which, now that I'm thinking about it again, that's crazy as hell. Imagine you get kidnapped, turned into a cyborg assassin, then they blame you for the end of the world. What the fuck did she do, bruh?
What did he do to make them niggas that mad?
This just gives her a valid reason to slime these 3 men. So after escaping the prison and landing on the moon, it's time to crash out.
Oh, into the grass out, twin.
She wakes up in a shack with a chainsaw on her arm, and there's a cat there too. She names it Paka. And it follows her around the entire game, doing nothing important. It's just there vibing. Her first target is Baron Quentin Amato, or Amato, I don't know. The moon has been overran with bot soldiers and the undead, and all of this death results in a creature that resides in the lunar waste. Goreface, pile of rotten flesh.
What is that? What is that? What is that?
After this, she makes her way into the bank, fighting newer enemies, painting the walls red with her foes. She starts tweaking again, getting hallucinations of the creeper trying to walk her down. Also a hallucination of an electric room, which grants her magic powers. And Yuki gets way too excited about this, talking about some, excellent, the nightmare makes me stronger. Mr. Emoto has probably been watching her rampage on the security cameras, shook. So when Yuki finally confronts him, Buddy sees this unhinged lunatic in front of him.
We're taking everything in me not scratch you right now, young nigga.
And he goes, One man down. Yuki's next target, General Count Fernand Diaboli. What the hell are these names? He's located in the Grim Tower, a nasty-ass demonic-looking place. In this place, you fight a bunch of teleporting ninjas, which are kind of annoying. And this place is also home to the Lich Boss, who's basically like the Grim Reaper. In his fight, he'll send you off to a graveyard to fight some zombies. It's pretty dope. After this, Yuki meets the dishwasher's boss, the chef. I forgot to tell you, his name is the chef. And he's like, the Creeper wants you to use the demon inside of you to kill your brother. Don't forget. And she's like... Then she goes on and kills her brother.
Oh my god, bro.
Well, actually, she gets tricked into doing it. She thought she was fighting the Creeper. Now here is where the two campaigns differ. In the dishwasher story, he shows up and has to fight both of them at the same time. And killing the Creeper frees Yuki of his control. In Yuki's story, she actually kills her bro, and he stays dead. But after this point, both of the campaigns are the same. I hope this makes sense to you. Are you still watching the video? You should probably subscribe or something.
No!
Please? Next, the chef is like, Yuki, the demon is still inside of you. So go inside of your nightmare and get rid of that young nigga. So they split up, and Yuki goes on to take out Fernand. She walks towards the demon, who's going absolutely dummy on this corpse. Talking about some scratch, drippy.
What the fuck? That look like a fucking lizard.
She pulls out a knife and puts an end to her nightmare, finally setting herself free.
Hooray!
But her journey isn't over yet. There's still one person left to take out, an enemy both protagonists are after, the judge. The final section of the game has us doing something which I personally dislike. It's a boss rush, where you fight the same bosses back to back. This time, there's just two of them. It always seems kinda lazy to me when games do this. It kinda makes the bosses feel less special because there's multiple versions of them. Just my opinion though. Anyways, after this, we finally run up on the third and final target, the judge, who was actually the fallen engineer, the evil entity behind all of the madness. This is like my favorite part of the game besides the prison escape. It's creative and just fun to play through. There's like 4 parts to this fight, each of which are awesome. In the second phase of the fight, he brings us into the protagonist's own nightmare, which is the Foghorn Cafe from the first game. The engineer acts as a puppeteer, controlling the enemies. The art style of the enemies switches after a little, then he drops back down to scrap, throwing the deadliest melee rock of all time at us. After defeating this phase, he teleports them to this hellish platform, where you get to throw hands with his final form. And this is the most varied fight in the game. He's got a katana with a few attacks, but what he loves to do is spam these powerful ass lightning attacks. And occasionally, he'll fly up in the air and fire missiles at you.
What's up guys, today I'm going to be teaching you how to make piss missiles.
All of this is happening while he teleports all over the place. It's a really cool fight. It was a decent challenge on my first playthrough, which made the win even more satisfying, watching the main protagonists rage in their victory. Damn, I think you got him. As the two reflect on their victory, the dishwasher wonders if it's really over. And if it isn't, he's gonna find and destroy all that is evil until the universe is free. And Yuki is like, I'm just glad to be free. A nice short bloody revenge story. The end. Besides the main game, there's a multiplayer mode to play co-op with your friends, an arcade mode which has 50 levels with different challenges to take on, and the dishwasher challenge, a survival mode where you see how long you can last.
What?
What did he say?
Nah. Like how many rounds you can go. So that was the Dishwasher Vampire Smile. A little underrated banger. Fire ass gameplay, a beautiful gothic aesthetic, and an edgy ass story too. This game was like a little dope time capsule. So I definitely got some nostalgia playing this. I didn't see that many videos on YouTube talking about it, so I thought I'd share it with y'all. The first game is stuck on the Xbox, but James Silva said in an interview that he still has the source code and just needs to get around to porting it. So hopefully, if this video does well and y'all fuck with the game, we can get some buzz going for a PC port, maybe a remake, maybe even a new sequel. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. Thank you to these lovely YouTube members for supporting my content. I really appreciate it. I love y'all. Let's do the dishwasher challenge. If you want to support me, the base tier is only 99 cents. All tiers get the same stuff, like special emotes, and you get new videos early. That's it. That's the end of the video. I'm gonna see y'all again soon.